So since 2005, the popularity of Doctor Who has grown, and since then spin-offs has come through that. Torchwood, or Citizen Adventures, and most recently with Class. Now today I'm going to do my picks of Doctor Who spin-offs that should happen. Now I'd just like to say most of these on this list is going to be pretty damn obvious of what, who and what it's going to be. So let's begin, shall we? Number 1. The Eighth Doctor's Adventures. Now, as I said, pretty obvious. Now, this is a pretty obvious one, I think, personally, but the style like this, they would to do this for me, I'd like is very much like Sherlock, more like specials, just 1 episode, 3 episodes a series possibly. I think that would work quite well, really, to be honest. And I know they've always been a thing of you can't have 2 Doctors going off at the same time in main television and all that. But if they did it maybe through BBC Three or something, through the online content that BBC is doing, I think that could maybe work. Number 2, the Paternoster Gang. Now, I'd like to just firstly say I'm surprised I can even actually pronounce that name. I always seem to struggle for some odd reason pronouncing their name. I don't know why, but anyway, I would like to see them kind of done more like the Citizen Adventures kind of style, more for CBBC kind of style. The problem with these characters, though, you need to remember, is the actual actors that are doing all this prosthetic. That's going to be a lot of time, and I can't imagine it would be a lot of episodes we would get of these characters. But I still think we could get a great show out of this, really, because I always think those characters remind me a bit of Hellboy a little bit, where they're these kind of like, well, from Jane, really, they obviously look like monsters, but they're having to try and hide from the public, but at the same time they're helping them. You know, it's actually kind of weird when you think about it, but that's who I'd very much like to see them. Number 3, the Jenna Adventures. Now, again, obviously I think this is a pretty obvious one. When we all watched Series 4, back at the Doctor's Daughter, when she goes off on adventures, we all kind of assumed either A, she'd come back, or B, get her own spin-off, and it was a bit weird that we never actually got neither, especially the fact that Steve Moffat was the one that told Russell T Davies, please keep this character, because Russell T Davies was actually going to kill her off, but for some odd reason we had nothing yet, and either she comes back as, you know, Jenny, as we all know, or she turns out she has the ability to regenerate. I think that could be really interesting if they bring in that, because you could keep it going. And I think it'd be great if she got her own TARDIS. I think if she built her own TARDIS, I think that'd be great. Again, maybe if she done it with her, it would be in the Sarah Jane kind of style, more for the kid kind of style. I wouldn't really mind that, to be honest. Number 4, Harkness and Song. Now, again, I think this is a pretty obvious one people want to see of these 2 characters together in Doctor Who, and I think some, but maybe not all. I know this is one a lot of folk don't really care about these 2 characters together, I think. But I would very much like to see a spin-off together with these 2. Again, a bit like the 8th Doctor, though, maybe done through specials, not a whole series. I think with these 2 characters, if you did get like a 13 episodes, I think it would get a bit too much. I think 3 episodes would just be the nice amount for these 2, and it could make them almost kind of like very big, like movies almost, kind of style. I think that would really work for these characters going through time and being very saucy and savvy as they are. Number 5, Time War animated. This is one I kind of hope people's not really thought of, but there's been some time I've really thought and would love to see, and that is if they started doing animated series. Now, we have The Big Finish, which I very much enjoy and like, and there's something I've always kind of thought, wouldn't it be great if they done was they started doing animated series of past stuff, even maybe of the new stuff as well. Like, for instance, imagine if they, like, through like the animation style of Dreamland, which I didn't mind, but I like the animation of it, and maybe a mix and style of that and Star Wars Clone Wars with the 3D animation, which I really liked, which made them kind of look a bit almost kind of real, and bring back, like, imagine like an animated series of Tom Baker come back. I think that would just be great, but for this specific one would be for the Time War, and especially the start of the Time War, because the problem with John Hurt and with his timeline within Doctor and in the Time War, when he obviously is, you know, after Paul McGann, the regeneration, he is younger looking, and sad to say John Hurt does not still look like that, and I think this would be a great way to kind of do it through an animation TV series. You could have him, see them go through young to slightly, obviously maybe going older, it would take always a while. I think this would be a great way to show the Time War, as well as show literally his Doctor young as well. Obviously John Hart could still voice him. I think this would be a great opportunity, and I would love it to see if they started doing this kind of style of stuff, really. Number 6, Torchwood USA. Now, bear with me, you're probably thinking, oh, that sounds like the most horriblest idea I've ever heard in my entire life. And to be honest, I would actually agree with you if I heard it from someone else. But bear with me what I'm going to say. When Miracle Day came out, me included, I was a bit kind of, I did particularly love the series. And we got this character Rex Matheson through, and some people weren't too fond of him. I didn't mind the character personally. I found him quite like a bit like Owen, where he was a bit of an arse at first, and once you maybe start to get to know this kind of character, you're starting to get, you know what makes him tick and all that. And I actually found I didn't mind the character. And obviously at the end of Miracle Day we found out that, well, he can die. But what I believe is, and I would like to see, is that in the future, specifically Captain Jack starts to realise that alien threat is literally worldwide now. We can't just keep it, okay, Torchwood's just for the British Empire sort of thing. So Jack realises that he needs to expand Torchwood, and he gets Rex to head the Torchwood USA, which will be set in probably, I don't know, Washington DC. Let's just say Washington DC, shall we, kids? And I think it would be great, because I remember Stars was saying they would keep Torchwood going if Russell T Davies wanted to keep it going, and I thought it was a bit of a shame. But I thought what they could do in that said was keep the Torchwood we know and love in Wales, but they could keep a Torchwood USA, just keep it going with all the American stuff and shenanigans that they do in America going. I wouldn't mind that if it was still, like, obviously keeping with the kind of tone of Torchwood, where, you know, it's a bit dark, it's a bit fancy, it's a, you know, blood and violence. That, I think I would be extremely up for that. Maybe hints, and you can maybe have people like Captain John Hart be in it, because since James Masters is very much known for the American TV audience, you know, I think that would very much work. And I've even got a little cast for the Torchwood USA. Obviously, I would have Rex as the main character, and he'd be like struggling through life and kind of what's life after living after death almost, because that's what he'd be kind of like, where now he's like, he really needs to like take care of his life almost, because that was it. He's not like Jack where he can come back anytime now. He only had that one time, and that was it. So I'd like to have him back, as well as in the cast. I'd like to see Eliza Dushku is in there as well. Enver Gojai would be also another one in there. Daniel Day Kim, another one. Laura Vandermort would be another one there. And I think they look quite a good team. Pretty damn good looking team, actually. But that is not Torchwood, isn't it? They'll have to be good looking, I think, to be part of Torchwood. But I would love to see this kind of team together. I think it would kind of work, and it would keep the Torchwood kind of thing going while... Christ, if Torchwood is ever going to come back in Wales, we don't know yet. But yeah, that's my little kind of... my thing there of Torchwood USA, and I hope I kind of twisted your arm to maybe why it would be okay to see something like that. Number 7, Unit. Now this is probably going to be quite an obvious one for some, maybe not for others, but I quite like this concept, and I think this is, out of all this list, this is the series that I really want, really wish for, and surprised it's not even happened, especially right now that we've got a pretty good strong team from Unit, especially the fact that they've got their own Big Finish series right now going with Kate Stewart and Osgood right now, and there's other ones in it, but within this team that I would have with my Unit TV show, I would always have Kate Stewart as the main one, who in this series where she's wanting to get her own kind of strong group and fight the good fight, so it'll be her and Osgood, as well as a character that's actually in the Big Finish that I would like to see in the series of actor named Warren Brown, who I've actually very quite like as an actor. I've seen him in many things, and I think it's a shame we don't really see him in more things, to be honest, and I think he would be good as the kind of the almost stereotypical, you know, stiff soldier type, and I think he'd fit that, because also I would like to see in this series is from Sarah Jane Adventures, and that is Clyde and Rani. I think they would really fit into this TV show together. I want to just say, not as when they were quite still young and Sarah Jane. They have aged now. They're actually going to be the age of what the actors are, which I was goddamn shocked to find out that Anthony Daniels is 28 and the actress that plays Rani is 20. She's 25 or something. I was like, my God. They were actually a lot older when they were in Sarah Jane, like when they were supposed to be like 15 or something. That's quite weird to think. I think it doesn't help the fact that Clyde, the actor who plays Clyde, is kind of small, to be honest. That kind of doesn't help his version. But I think this be a very good team, and you could see like Clyde looking up to Warren Brown's character, like wishing he could be almost him, and Rani getting close with Osgood and that, and also with Rani and Clyde, their relationship. They're now probably a couple at that point in time, and there'll be like sprinklings of like Sarah Jane, because obviously they didn't kill her off. She is still alive, but I like if they like maybe said like Sarah Jane wanted to maybe kind of just slow down with everything, and she actually moved out of Bannerman Road, which apparently was actually going to happen in Sarah Jane Adventures. So maybe they could still keep that kind of going on. But Sarah Jane kind of gave Clyde and Rani a nice little kind of, oh, I know your unit's actually trying to go for the better now with this Kate Stewart. I think you two would be great, and she put a good word in for. I think all that stuff would be great, to be honest. And I would like this kind of, I think unit would either work like the 13 episodes, or more like the Torchwood, Children of Earth, like 5-parter, like a full-on event, which I could more see working, to be honest. So that's my picks of Doctor Who spin-offs that should happen. I hope you enjoyed. Please tell me what you thought. Comment down below. Am I wrong? Am I right with my decisions here? Tell me what you think. Hopefully some more videos up pretty damn soon. So until then, see you later.